Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Combat Ready HQ, and today's video we are looking at, this is America's CRAM weapon system. It's a counter battery radar. I'm British Army background, and we used, when I was in, we had Mamba, we had the M-Star, could pick up artillery. When you were firing, you'd see the rounds if it worked, and then we had LCMR was the main one that I used in Afghan. So interesting to see how this works. Looks insane from what I've seen so far, so make sure you grab a cup of coffee. I've got Combat Ready coffee, go check that out. Get it up on a big screen, let us know what your thoughts are. Hopefully you enjoy my commentary. If not, check out the original video in the description. Remember to like, subscribe, and let's get into it.
CRAM, an advanced automated point defense Gatling gun.
You do not withstand a chance that is engaging
mortars,
you.
Missiles and artillery shells is a very serious concern for armed forces in a battle. But thanks to point defense systems like the CRAM, indirect fire of this nature may have met its match.
Literally watched the video. I've just done it. I've just posted it on the M61 Vulcan Gatling gun. It's the sound of it. Listen to it as it fires. It's just insane.
The CRAM, standing for Counter Rocket Artillery and Mortar, is a land-based phalanx weapon system with the capability of integration with other protection sensors and systems. The system is designed and manufactured by the American company Raytheon. Phalanx is a rapid-fire, computer-controlled radar and 20mm gun system that automatically acquires, tracks, and destroys enemy threats that have penetrated all other ship defense systems. The Phalanx was designed in the beginning as a ship-based anti-missile system. The Centurion weapon system mission represents a revolutionary approach to countering insurgent activities by intercepting rockets, artillery, and mortar rounds in the air before impact, thereby reducing or eliminating any damage they might cause. The CRAM's naval equivalent, the Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, CWIS, was first developed as an automated weapons defense system in 1973 and incorporated a 20mm M61 Vulcan Gatling gun autocannon used since 1959.
As I mentioned this before, like so many videos I'm watching of this top pieces of equipment that everyone seems to love were designed in the 50s, 60s, 70s with a pen and paper and a ruler, well before like technology really took a big leap in advance. Like was the big leaps and bounds back then, but it's even more now. Look at technology now, and all these systems that we're just sort of slightly modifying were designed in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I think it would have been a great era for engineering. Very interesting.
The Navy Phalanx system was first appraised as a possible ground-based variant in 2004. Phalanx was selected partly because it could be readily interfaced with a multitude of sensors and systems designed to provide an overarching protection umbrella of sights on the ground.
Okay. So someone was saying, if you watch it very closely, it sort of moves side to side. So when it's firing the rounds, it sort of has a wider spread, so it like can hit the target.
In its land-based configuration, the land-based Phalanx weapon system, LPWS system, is mounted on a wheeled platform in order to provide enhanced stability on site and mobility for repositioning and deployment. The Centurion CRAM can, for example, be mounted on a trailer or the rear side of the Oshkosh truck.
Have to say I never saw this. I thought it was more of a ship defense, but they've got them on land. It does make sense to have them on land as well.
In October 2008, Raytheon and Oshkosh unveiled the Mobile Centurion, which mounts the system on a hybrid electric heavy expanded mobility tactical truck. The first battle-ready CRAM system was deployed to Iraq in 2010 in order to protect the Green Zone, an area in Baghdad used as an American embassy. Trials of this system showed that it was capable of knocking out 70 to 80% of rockets and mortar shells fired within its area of control. The CRAM system has successfully intercepted hundreds of rockets and mortar shells fired at the Green Zone, thereby proving the system's capability as a defensive system.
You do not look at that. Stand a chance, really. If you're like a slow, low-level aircraft, so I'd say like a C-130 Hercules, if you're coming in low level to, drop in sort of airborne units, any sort of helis, maybe a bomber, but we've seen some subsonic bombers, so maybe. And I think it's great how it can actually detect and take out mortars, because a mortar shell isn't actually that big. So be able to obviously detect it and react quickly to take it out, I think is pretty impressive. And obviously, like it said, it has been done and in a war scenario. It looks beautiful, sounds amazing. I'd love to actually see one of these in real life. I've never been lucky enough. Fireworks.
Like its naval counterpart, the CRAM utilizes advanced search and track Ku-band radar systems that feature closed-loop spotting technology to automatically acquire and track targets and engage them. Ku-band, in case you're not aware, is a portion of the electromagnetic spectrum in the microwave range of frequencies between 12 and 18 gigahertz. Similar systems were installed on the Space Shuttle to help identify and track other spacecraft.
Fair enough.
The system can also be integrated with an array of other sensors and systems to help provide an overarching protective umbrella to protect a given location on the ground. The weapon's primary armament is the 20mm Vulcan Gatling gun. It consists of 6 optimized barrels augmented with forward-looking infrared sensors. The barrels are secured together at the muzzle, mid-barrel, and breech to provide enhanced accuracy and enable fire to constrain shot dispersion patterns.
Look at it.
The M61 is a hydraulically, electrically, and pneumatically driven, air-cooled, electrically fired Gatling gun rotary cannon that's been used in one form or another on various fixed-wing military aircraft, tanks, and ships for over 5 decades. It was originally produced by General Electric. The U.S. Army also uses the M61 in the M167 and M163 air defense systems as the primary gun system on the F-15, F-16, and F-18 fighters of the United States Air Force. The gun is also used as the tail gun on the B-52H bomber, while a lightweight variant is used on the F-22 Raptor fighter.
Just honestly, it just shows like how good it is. Like first sort of designed in the 40s, then in the used in the 50s, and it's still pretty much heavily used nowadays in so much modern day equipment. Shows how well it was built back then and how good of an idea it was.
But
Brilliant.
all that firepower is also
Insane
half the
bit
story.
of weaponry.
If you can't track and accurately put the cannon rounds in the right place at the right time, you basically have a fancy piece of pyrotechnics. This is achieved through the combination of advanced sensors that enable the CRAM to simultaneously search, track, engage incoming targets, and prioritize targets and make kill assessments in both daytime and nighttime.
It's brilliant, and it just reminds me of RoboCop. You know, those ones that come walking in on 2 legs. That's literally what it reminds me of. And like, if you think of RoboCop, Terminator, it's like quite scary, that technology that people think about. This is it. All you got to do is give this thing legs. But it is literally working on its own, detecting the enemy, detecting aircraft, missiles, rockets, mortars, artillery, like by itself using infrareds. It's a good but scary time we live in when it comes to technology and war.
CRAM's Ku-band radar system enables the weapon system to detect potential threats early in their flight and then pass on their trajectory and vector data to the system's tracking algorithms only when it judges them to be a real and present danger.
No way.
Target tracking
clever.
and engagement is further enhanced by a sophisticated thermal imaging system to help improve targeting. This system operates in the 8 to 12 micron wavelength range and is mounted on a stabilizing pedestal attached to the weapon's main antenna radome. It provides very reliable night and day passive search and tracking, while also improving the overall anti-air warfare performance of the system in multi-path environments. Other tracking systems integrated into the Centurion CRAM system include Northrop Grumman's AN/TPQ-36 short-range firefinder radar and the lightweight counter-mortar radar to detect and track fired rounds. This hardware is controlled by fire control subsystems like Northrop Grumman Mission Systems Forward Area Air Defense Command and Control System, which ties together the sensors and weapons of the Army's short-range air defense battalions.
Tracer, I love Tracer at night. Tell you what, you wouldn't want to be based on that camp, would you? Like, imagine being in a checkpoint in a fob and you've just got that going off. That's going to wake you up.
As you might expect, such a sophisticated piece of kit does not come cheap. Each CRAM system costs somewhere in the range of $10 to $15 million, depending on the final spec of the units purchased. But that's only the cost to initially acquire the technology. With such a massive rate of fire, this unit literally burns through bullets. Depending on the number of munitions spent, the typical engagement with a single missile could range between $30,000 to $60,000. Some other estimates put the figure at around $40,000 per missile. This is not only costly from a material point of view, but is also one of the main disadvantages of the system. By spending so much on ammo on a single threat, a limited ammunition supply will theoretically limit the number of threats that the unit can engage at a given time. By some estimates, this might mean that the Centurion CRAM might have a maximum anti-ram cap of about 5 incoming rounds before needing to be reloaded. The system has some other perceived weaknesses too. For example, it takes about 5 seconds to acquire, lock onto, and engage a threat. It also has a fairly short effective range of between 100 and 1,000 meters. These weaknesses aside, it's shown itself to be one of the most effective anti-missile, mortar, and artillery defense systems in the world. For this reason, it'll likely remain an important player for many armed forces around the world for many years to come.
Yeah, like, that's not too bad. Like, I would say a typical time of flight for a mortar round is around 60 seconds, and you're going to catch it in that last 5 seconds. So as long as it obviously explodes quite high in the air because you've got shrapnel and burst, you should be totally fine. Same with a missile. It is coming in quick, but if it can detect it further enough out, and then it's got obviously a effective range of up to around 1,000 meters. So as long as it detects it just before it comes into that 1,000, and then as soon as it comes into that 1,000, it engages and hits, then you're all right. And like it has been said, it has been shown to be effective. So it is obviously very good. So I'd say like detecting and engaging in 5 seconds isn't too much of a downfall. I think that's pretty quick considering. But I wonder how it works with like sort of, say you have 1 or 2 or only 3, how it works with multiple rounds, because obviously mortars is, once they've adjusted, they're going to fire for effect, so you're going to have more than 1 round coming in. Same with artillery. Once they've adjusted, they're then going to engage with a fire for effect. So depending on whether it's 3 guns, 6 guns, 3 mortars, 6 mortars, however many it's engaging, will be how many rounds you're going to have coming in pretty much at the same time, as it's an area weapon. So we'd like to understand how effective it is when it comes to that, when there's more than 1 round in the air. Sounds amazing. Love it. I'd love to see one of these in real life. It's just like a set of fireworks. Beautiful weapon, absolute beauty, absolute beast as well. I would be quite fearful if I was, an aircraft getting close, but yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that video too. Hope you enjoyed my comments. Be great to see and hear your comments in the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.